What is the force that ultimately unleashes your emotional fitness? Obviously, it's action. Nothing changes without new action. But the force that's even deeper than action, whether you do something or don't, whether you pull back or move forward, what's going to determine that? What's going to control that? What controls all action? Well, what happens before you take action is you have to make a decision. And every action is fathered or mothered by a decision. I mean, think about it. If you really want to know why your life has turned out the way it has, look at the decisions you've made over the last 5, 10, 15 years. I'm not suggesting that we don't face challenges, but here's what I've seen in my life, and I'm sure you've seen it too if you're honest with yourself. It's not the conditions that shape your destiny, it's your decisions. In fact, I tell people, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. This core understanding is the basis of everything I'm here to share with you. Everything we're going to do is about making a new choice. See, if you don't like how it is, good. If you're excited, good. If you're in between, I feel sorry for you. See, I'm hoping you're either inspired or scared, because either one of those will move you. That lukewarm, numb kind of middle area is the place you want to avoid. Those are the people that are dead inside. I don't usually get to see many of those people. I see people at the top. I see people starting a new chapter or facing a big challenge, because that's when we're looking for answers. And that's when we feel truly most alive. That's the time you got to make a new choice. That's when you got to decide. So look at your life. I know there have been tough times. I know that there's been injustices. I don't know anybody who hasn't had them. I can tell you my stories and bore you. You don't need to hear my stories of injustice. You got your own. And everybody's had moments of advantage, at least. You may not have identified them, but they were there. The question is, what did you do with it? See, sometimes it's the littlest decision that shaped our life. Think about this. Maybe you made a choice about where to go to school. It seemed like a small choice, a difficult choice, but a small choice, but it led to the friends that are still in your life, or it led to, taking on a certain kind of career, and that career has led you into a way of thinking, a way of being. If you choose to be a lawyer, you're gonna have a very different life than if you're gonna be a therapist. You're gonna have a very different life than if you're gonna be a broadcaster, very different life than if you're gonna work in a coal mine, very different life than if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, very different life than if you're gonna be a politician. Because there are different demands, and we adapt to our environment. And after a while, whatever we get reinforced for doing, we do a lot more of. And pretty soon, that little choice about what to do for a living has shaped what you believe about the world. Little decisions can shape our life. You went to work someplace and you met the man or woman who is now your husband or wife. That decision created a family. The decisions you make about what to eat from your dinner plate each night are shaping your body and your destiny. See, decisions equal destiny. And what I want you to get is, you don't have to wait to be emotionally fit. You got to decide to face what's in front of you. You got to decide to raise the standard of what you expect for yourself. You got to decide that no matter how magnificent your life is, it's time to grow, baby. Time to go to the next level. That's what's going to make me alive. Make a decision right now that says you're going to be one of the few who do, and you and I are going to complete this process together. Each day, even if you miss a day, you get right back on it. Let's do this process so that each day we're making new decisions, creating new actions. Are you up for that? I hope so. If you're listening to me right now, my bet is you probably are. But you got to structure it, schedule it, lock it in. That's a decision too, what you do with your schedule. You say, I have no time. Bull. You got all the time there is. The question is, what's most important? And are you taking time for yourself? Are you taking time to consciously decide things? Are you taking time to listen to your own inner heart, to the whispers of destiny? I'm not trying to sound melodramatic, but if you don't give time to yourself just to be, you miss out on life, and you find yourself unconsciously choosing just to roll with it, just to keep going. And all of a sudden, your life is over. You didn't design your life, you just reacted. I got your attention? I know you know these things in your heart already. I'm just bringing them to the forefront right now. Now, when I say decisions shape destiny, if you had to think of one or two decisions you made that have changed your life for the better, what might those be? What's the decision you made in, let's say, in a relationship or in your career, or maybe a decision about what to believe or what not to believe, about God, about life, about yourself, about possibility, about success or failure. You see, our decisions about what to believe control how we feel, and they control our actions. So ultimately, what's been one of the most powerful decisions of your life that you're proud of? We best build on success. But think about it. If you don't like your body, change it. If you don't like your relationship, change you first. If that doesn't work and you aren't meant for each other, then change the relationship. You don't have to wait. There's a moment when our life changes, and often people will tell me, it took me 10 years to make this change. I go, took you a moment. It took you 10 years to get to the moment, but the moment was when you chose something, when you decided and you acted. I don't mean a decision when you said, I've decided. I mean when you made the decision and you immediately took massive action towards its achievement. When we act on something, it's a real decision. So you can change anything, but you gotta get yourself in the state to do it. And by the way, there are 3 decisions you're making every moment of your life, either consciously or unconsciously. You're making those 3 decisions right now. And you may not be aware of it consciously what those decisions are, but it's happening. And you test it out, see if it's true. I'll give you the 3 right now. Figuring these out began to allow me to take control of some of my unconscious thinking and shift my life. The first decision you make every moment of your life is, what are you gonna focus on? Every moment of your life, you gotta decide what to focus on. Again, if you don't choose consciously, your brain just goes into its habits. And what do you tend to focus on? Things you value or the things you fear? Most people focus on what they're afraid of, and so their life, whatever you focus on, you feel. Wherever focus goes, energy flows. So if you keep focusing on what you fear, you bring it to life. As you think about it, it becomes alive inside of you. Have you ever had something you were totally worried about, and you kept thinking about it, focusing on it, and in your gut, it was like it was happening? There's an old phrase, I've never forgot it, because I used to be such a worrier, not a warrior, a worrier. I'd make myself sick. And the way I did it was I think of all the worst things I was afraid were going to happen. I think about them in detail. And one day I read this little phrase. It said, a coward dies 1,000,000 times. A courageous man dies only once. And I thought, you know what? I'm feeling in my gut as if all this stuff had happened day after day. Maybe I ought to just wait. And if it really happens, then I'll take the gut hit. See, people have patterns of focus, and the first decision about what to focus on is shaping your life. For example, here's a pattern. If you've decided, consciously or unconsciously, years ago, to get in the habit where you focus on what you can't control, the economy. You can shape your own finances, but you can't control the economy. You can take advantage of an uptime or a downtime, but you can't control it. If you focus on, politicians, you can influence how long they're in office, but you can't control them. If you focus on controlling the weather, if you focus on anything you can't control, and that's your pattern, I know the emotions you experience. You're not emotionally fit. You live with fear or worry or stress. When right now, truthfully, there's so much that you authentically can control. The most important things, your thoughts, your mind, your emotions, your decisions, your actions. Think about it. There's 2 worlds we gotta master. The most important world to master is the internal world. In fact, anything you want to master in the external world, anything you want to achieve, make happen, change, starts by change in the internal world, doesn't it? It's like we talked about earlier. How to lose weight, not that difficult. 1,000,000 ways to do it, 1,000,000 strategies, people that could coach you, people that could train you, places to do it everywhere. Put on your shoes and move, right? Books, tapes, elements, everywhere it's there. It's not hard. Getting yourself to do it, that's the inner world. And that requires taking control of focus, number 1. Same thing's true with money, same thing's true with anything else. If you master the inner world, you master your life. And to master the inner world, to have emotional fitness, you gotta take control consciously of what you focus on. Some people have the pattern of focusing on the past. So guess what? If you're trying to drive into the future and you're using a rearview mirror, you're always looking in the past, you're gonna crash. It's not gonna happen. Some people always focus only on the future and they're missing the present that they could enjoy. Some people only focus on the present and they miss the future and they don't anticipate what's coming. It's the ability to move around, not get locked into one approach. Am I making some sense? We're going to go into this concept of focus in much more depth, just by itself in one day. So take heart if it sounds like I'm covering a lot. Second decision you make. The minute you focus on something, where does your mind go immediately? It has to come up with, what does this mean? See, the human nervous system has to know, is this going to mean pain or pleasure? When this happened, does it mean the end? Or does this mean that we're beginning? Think about it for a moment.